Bird on Breeze Nation, I'm going to give you 3 offensive tackles the Chicago Bears should focus in on. And it starts right now. Now, if you are new to the channel, please like the video. Please subscribe to the page because we do talk Chicago sports weekly. It's the only channel that's talking Chicago sports, how Chicago talk. So make sure that you get in tune with us. I keep saying weekly because it's a habit, but we really talk Chicago sports daily. But technically, we talk it every day of the week. So is that still weekly? Here we go. Let's get into the video. So the Chicago Bears have a huge need this offseason to fill the left tackle, in my opinion, the left tackle position. Now, you might just go offensive tackle in general, but I think you want to move Tevin Jenkins back to right, have somebody experienced in there at left tackle. So I have looked at some of the tackles that are on the free agent market, and to me, right, there's not oh my God, there's a ton of talent that the Bears can be after, because a lot of these names are a part of dysfunctional teams that maybe you could go trade for if you had that opportunity. But I've narrowed it down to 3 names that I think would really benefit here in a Bears jersey. There's one guy that I absolutely think the Bears should go get. There's one guy that I think you're getting this guy based on what he's kind of done in the past, but last season was a little bit iffy. Maybe he could become a Pro Bowler again. And then there's our final guy who's the maybe this guy comes into it guy. Let's get into the video. Number 1 for me, pretty easy name. Can't go wrong. Terron Armstead. The Saints have no money. We talked about this on the Daily Show today. By the way, tune in for the Daily Show Monday through Friday, the Windy City Breeze Daily. The Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Live daily, 11 to 1, tune in with that. Terron Armstead. Terron Armstead is literally the best name on the market. He's 30 years old, coming off of injury, but on a bad Saints team as well, and essentially has been dominant his entire career, to the point where I had to make sure that I was looking at his stats right. In his entire career, he's allowed 18 sacks. His most has been 4 in a season. That was about 5 years ago. But and he's 30 years old. He literally checks all the boxes. He's the best left tackle on the market. The Saints just have no money. Very tough times. So I think he's going to be the guy you're going to want to go after. To me, he did an excellent job down there in New Orleans protecting Drew Brees. But here's the caveat, right? He's the best name on the market. He's somebody you want to go after. There's going to be a slew of teams looking for him. You heard that the Colts are now in the market for a tackle. And based on what they do at the quarterback position, things might look a little bit better over there. So there's going to be a lot of competition. You could see the Rams moving on from some guys as well. So you're going to be fighting for that. I don't know if the Bears are enticing enough of a job, of a spot for Armstead to come to. But I mean, he's a guy who in his entire career has allowed 18 sacks. He's only got 13 holding penalties. You'll notice a theme with these guys. That's not in the last 5 years. That's in his career. He's got 13 holding penalties. He's got 14 false starts. We need to get guys on this team that are disciplined and can deal with not giving up yards. How many times did we see a drive last year where Justin Fields was moving down the field, offensive line false start, or holding penalty, or on a big throw you get a holding penalty? You know what I'm saying? We need to find those guys that'll be able to get in the building and be able to not only play the cerebral part of the game, play the physical part of the game, but also play the part of the game, the mental part of the game that keeps you on the field moving forward. Number 2 on my list. Another name that is interesting here, right? This is the one where I said interesting name because he's had an issue with sacks allowed. Now, what do I mean? Name number 2 for me is Eric Fisher. Now, Eric Fisher has had multiple Pro Bowl seasons. with the Kansas City Chiefs, where he played very well. He had one season where he allowed 4.5 sacks, had one season where he allowed 3 sacks. Last season, not a great season for him sack-wise, allowed 7 sacks. You could say, hey, listen, that's attributed to the fact that Carson Wentz was standing back there taking those things. He was holding on to the ball way too long in opportunities, but there's still something to be said about allowing that. And here's the thing, right? Last season is not an anomaly in his career. A good chunk of his career from 2013 to about 2017, his sack numbers 8.5, 8, 6.5, 6, 6.5. Now, all those years in playoff contention, but you're talking about a guy who has had an issue keeping guys off of the quarterback throughout his career, seemingly getting it together, maybe with a better unit around him in Kansas City. That offensive line around Pat Mahomes the couple years before he ends up leaving is a pretty good unit, but has dealt with some injury issues as well, especially in the playoffs and stuff like that. So he's an interesting one. You know what I'm saying? I like Eric Fisher. I think he's a good name. I think he's a name that probably could fall to the Bears. And the reason I say that is because, like I said, Terron Armstead, he's going to be that high money guy, right? He's going to be the guy that if the Bears are going to get him, they're going to have to throw stupid money at him to get him to come to a team that still has a lot of question marks on it. But if he believes in Justin Fields enough, you get enough money in there, anybody believes in anybody enough, right? Eric Fisher's a guy who there's going to be absolutely people looking for him because of his Pro Bowl years. He's got 2 Pro Bowl years in there. There's absolutely going to be guys teams looking to bring him in. But the question mark with Eric Fisher is he going to be able to keep those sack numbers down? And that's been a little bit up and down in his career as a whole. So on the other side, though, only 4 penalties last season on false starts and only 1 holding penalty. 1 holding penalty. You'll notice a theme with these guys. Like I said, you want to win the mental side, you want to win the physical side, and you want to keep your team moving in the right direction on the field. So he's a guy who at least keeps the penalties low, but you might be at a little more risk with getting Justin his head taken off. You know what I'm saying? Now, if he's good enough, here's the thing as well. If he's one of those good enough that Carson Wentz could get out of the way of a sack. He's got a little bit of wheels on him, but if he's not feeling it coming, he's going to get hit. Justin seemed to improve on noticing when the sack was coming. The problem was they were coming from all sides, but Justin seemed like his awareness improved throughout the season. You would hope in the offseason his awareness continues to improve, and that even if Eric Fisher is kind of letting some guys through, by that time, Justin Fields has the pass out or he's on the run. He's made a decision with the football. Now, before I continue with the video, I want to know how you guys feel, man. Let me know in the comments below. Who do you think the Bears should bring in at left tackle, right tackle on this offensive line? I'll be down there talking with you as well. My third and final player. This is a player that I think deserves an opportunity, right? This is a player that I think deserves the chance to prove that he can actually play as a starter in this league. That player is Jason Noteboom. Jason Noteboom has been backing up Andrew Whitworth for about 4 years, and he's finally coming into free agency. Now, the interesting thing about Noteboom is, right, I can give you his numbers. Numbers aren't bad. He allowed 1 sack last year, allowed 2 the year before. Doesn't play a lot of time though. That's the part there, right? Now he got in when he got in with when Whitworth had an injury. I want to say 2018. I kind of watched some of his all 22 film that they had online for that, and he looked good. He looked like, you know, like he was finally able to get a consistent rhythm and be out there on a consistent basis. He was moving into the right direction. But he just hasn't had that opportunity. I mean, you're sitting behind a Hall of Famer there, and you're not taking that guy's spot. Now, at 40 years old, the Rams might be looking to bring this guy in, so he might cost you a little bit more. He might cost you trying to overpay to go get him, but he's 27 years old. 27 years old. By the way, I didn't say ages on the other. Fisher's 31, and Armstead is 30. Both of those, and 30, not bad. Not bad. I'm not mad at that. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing guys play longer, like an Andrew Whitworth who played till he was 40 years old. So he's going to be somebody interesting who you might see finally moving away, right? We've heard talks that he's planning on retiring, so he could be somebody interesting that the Rams want to keep. And so you might have to overpay taking a chance on a guy, but in his career, right? Last season, no penalties allowed. Season before that, 3. Season before that, 1. He didn't have a false start at all last season. He had no holding penalties last season. These are guys that are keeping the penalty numbers low. I like Joseph Noteboom. I think that if given a consistent role, right? If given a consistent role, you'll see him play a little bit better. You'll see him develop a little bit better. And at a minimum, right, he's somebody that the Rams are seriously looking at bringing in to put behind a Hall of Famer. He's somebody who they're literally looking at to be the starting guy to protect Matthew Stafford off of a Super Bowl year. So he's somebody that the Bears absolutely should be interested in, to me. And I feel like you might be able to get him while still overpaying at a discount, at more of a discount than the other two might come with, right? And at 27 years of age, to me, if Poles identifies him as a guy, I think he would be worth the risk of can he play, can he not? At 27 years of age, you get him in here, you get him working right away. Now all of a sudden, you've not only got an offensive line that's set for Justin right now, but that's set for Justin 4 years. Because if you get Noteboom in here and he's able to do what he's doing, Tevin Jenkins becomes the player we hope he becomes. Larry Borum becomes the player we hope he becomes. You know, a lot of hope here, Bears fans. But hey, that's what we're building this team on, pretty much. We're hoping the front office gets it right. But if you get those guys in there and they're all able to have success at that position, now you've got one of the youngest offensive lines in the NFL, and you've got an offensive line that's hopefully moving in the right direction. And so I think that, to me, Joseph Noteboom is somebody that the Bears should look at heavily. He should be somebody the Bears should target in on, and I would love to see him here in a Bears jersey. But as always, man, I want to know how you guys feel. Let me know in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you as well. Who do you think the Bears should go after in free agency? Or do you even think the Bears should go after somebody in free agency? Should they try and trade up and get them a lineman in the draft? Let me know in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you as well. As always, it's your boy Pat the Designer, back at it again to continue watching our Chicago Bears content. Click the links here. There'll be a link somewhere in here. Or check the link in the description below. Hey, yo, Chicago, y'all stay safe out there, man.